Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to another week of home learning. It's Monday and it's time for us to do our first writing lesson for the week. This week we are going to be continuing looking at persuasive texts. Our learning intention: we are learning to use a plan to compose a persuasive text, and our success criteria: I can understand the purpose of a persuasive text, use the correct persuasive writing structure, use conjunctions to connect my opinions and my reasons. We are going to use what we learnt last week and build on it and learn more about persuasive writing. So, my first question has to be, what does it mean to persuade? Can you remember? To persuade means to convince. When we persuade someone, we want to convince them of something. We can use persuasive writing for different reasons. You may want to persuade someone to believe what you believe. You may want to persuade someone to take an action or do something. You might want to change someone's mind about a topic that's important to you. Can you remember what the features of persuasive text are? By features, I mean, where do I start? How do I organise what I want to say in my writing? What order do I put everything down in? We did discuss this last week, so let's have a look at the order again. We always start with the title. Now, the title tells the reader what the topic is we're going to be talking about. Then we have our topic sentence. Now, this is a really important sentence. This is where we're really going to grab the reader's attention, and we're going to state our opinion or our point of view in very strong language. Then, because we want to persuade or convince our reader to think the way we do, we're going to give them at least 3 reasons to back up our opinion. And then our final part is a conclusion. Here we're going to restate our opinion just to really reinforce to the reader what we want them to think or to do. The story we're going to be looking at today is Hey Little Ant by Philip and Hannah Hoose. This is a really good persuasive text. Have a look at the picture. Can you see the boy has got a stick with an ant on it? I wonder what he's thinking about. Well, today, as you're listening to the story, I want you to consider these questions. What is the boy in the story thinking about doing? What does the ant think and feel about this? How is the point of view of the boy different from the point of view of the ant? So listen to the story and we'll discuss those questions afterwards. Once again, I've given you the YouTube link down here that you can type in, or you can click on the address in the learning timetable for this week, or I've also created a link in your writing folder for week 6. I hope you enjoyed the story. So what do you think the boy should do? Should he squish the ant or save him? What would you do if you were the boy? For our next task, we're going to stop again, and I want you to go back and listen to the story one more time. This time I want you to listen really carefully and have your worksheet with you. As you're listening, I want you to stop and think about all the reasons the boy said why he should squish the ant. And then I want you to listen carefully for all the reasons why the ant said he should not be squished. Now remember, you can stop the video as many times as you like as you're writing down your reasons. Or instead of watching the video again, you might just want to read the PDF, the printed copy of the book that I've put in your week 6 folder. And this is the worksheet I'm talking about. So here we've got the boy looking down at the ant. What was his point of view? Can you write them over here? And then I want you to imagine you're the ant, and imagine if you were the boy. What was the ant's point of view? What were all the reasons that he should not be squished? So stop this video now, go listen to the story, and we'll come back after you've finished. Did you find lots of reasons for both points of view? Well, I did. So this is what I came up with. Now, first of all, I looked at the boy's point of view, and I thought he wanted to squish the ants for these following reasons. He thought the ant should get squished because the ant was a thief because it takes food. Ants can bite. His mum said that ants were rude. They are so little that nobody would care. Ants can't feel, so it certainly wouldn't hurt. And all his friends were telling him to do it because it was part of their game. But now the other point of view was the ants, and the ants definitely did not want to be squished. And his reasons were, he shouldn't get squished because the ant was needed to bring back food to the nest to feed the babies. Ants are living things, and we should protect living things. We shouldn't hurt them. Ants don't really eat too much. Remember in the story, he only was taking a chip, and that was going to feed all his ant mates. Just because you're small doesn't mean that you don't matter. And lastly, the ant thought the boy should be able to think for himself, not just do what his friends say. So, which one do you agree with, the boy or the ant? Our writing task today is going to be completing a planning sheet. We're going to just write down some points or words that we can put together to make sentences when we're writing out persuasive writing text. This week, I'm going to model to you how to write a persuasive text, and then tomorrow it's your turn to write the other point of view. But before we started, I wanted to show you this word map. It's really good. It's got lots of good sentences or phrases that you can use in your persuasive writing. You can see in the first column it says introductions. These are great sentence beginning, particularly when you're writing your topic sentence. Then you can see in the second one where it says make your point of view, you can see we've got firstly, secondly, thirdly, furthermore, in addition. These are going to be our time connectives. These are the words we're going to use to start off our reasons. And then you can see over here where it says endings. These are great sentence beginning for our conclusion. Now I'm going to be using this when I'm writing my persuasive text. So here's what a planning sheet's going to look like. Now remember, it's a planning sheet. I'm only going to use words and phrases. I don't have to put my thoughts in sentences yet. That's what I'll do when I'm writing my text. So first of all, what words can I use in my title? Should ant be squished? If I can start with that question. Okay, my topic sentence, so that's where I'm going to state my opinion. And for this side, I'm going to say that the ant should not be squished. So I'm going to go ant, definitely not, squished, how would you feel? I'm actually going to put a rhetorical question in to make the reader really think about the topic. For my first reason, I'm going to use the point that the ant is a living creature. Size, it shouldn't matter what size you are, and you should never hurt a living creature. My second one, I'm going to think, well, as the ant said, he really is like the boy. He has a family, friends, and a home. His nest mates need him to dig the nest and to feed back the baby ants. My final reason, my third reason was what the ant said right at the end. He said, you know, even though the kids are telling him to do it, he needs to think for himself and really do the right thing. And then I'm going to finish my conclusion with, it's for these reasons I should not squish the ant. So that's a planning sheet. So boys and girls, now it's your turn. I've given you a copy of this blank planning sheet. I've just shown you a planning sheet from the ant's point of view. Now remember, I only use phrases and words from the story or from the word map, and you're going to do the same thing. But this time, I want you to do the point of view of the boy, that the ant should be squished. So you can take words from the notes that you've already written, from the word map, or you can even look at mine, or you can use my notes if you like, on why an ant should be squished. Remember, I put down the ant is a thief because it takes food, ants bite, mum says they're rude, they're so little, nobody would care. Ants can't feel, so it obviously wouldn't hurt if it gets squashed. And his friends are telling him to do it because it's part of their game. So use this information to help you write your planning sheet. Now remember, a planning sheet is just words and phrases. Don't try to write a whole lot of sentences. Once you finish, put your sheet aside because we're going to be using it in our next writing lesson. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you come up with.